Good morning, teachers. I want to show you how to pull a report that I think will be helpful for you in your conversations with students. So log into NWEA, go to View Reports, and then Map Growth Reports. Okay, we are going to scroll down until you see the Achievement Status and Growth Summary with Quadrant Chart. Select it. You want to make sure your term rostered matches your term tested, and then choose your classes. I'm going to pick Autumn Stevens because she gave me permission, and we are going to look at her period 4 class. And then I'm going to go ahead and click Create Report. Okay, so this is going to be a growth quadrant that shows how Autumn's students are performing. I'm going to uncheck math, uncheck science, because I'm just interested in reading right now, how the students are performing achievement-wise compared to growth. So, of course, we want our students to eventually all get into the green. We want them to have high achievement and high growth. We're also okay with high achievement right now and low growth. Of course, we want to always move our students along. These students over here with low achievement and high growth are on the right track. These students down here we need to really be having conversations with. These are students with both low achievement and low growth. Now, I can also go up here and click Show Student Names, and each one of these will turn into a student name. So you can that really quickly and get a handle on where that entire class is. Okay, so when I click on a box or a student name, I get their little snapshot of their information. So their achievement percentile is where they are in relation to other students who have taken the NWEA at this point. So achievement percentile, that means that 62, this student is performing the same as or better than 62% of students taking it. The conditional growth percentile is a number that NWEA uses to compare students to take with their starting points and their weeks of instruction between testing, just to give you a better comparison data. And then the projected growth after the fall assessment, this student was projected to grow 3. They actually grew. Their observed growth was 8. So they grew pretty much, they grew 5 points more than they were expected. However, the standard error of measurement was at a 4.8. So according to NWEA, anything between 2.8 and 3.5 is considered an average standard of measurement, standard of error. But it's considered valid, I think, up to 5.5. So you can see the standard error measurement is pretty big on this one. So, okay, if we scroll down, we can see some more details about individual students. So if you want to take a look, this was the fall RIT score. The range represents the standard error of measurement. So how far, if they took a similar test around the same time, where they would be expected to fall. And that gives the percentile ranking at about 91%, meaning that student was the same as or better than about 91% of students who take that. This is the winter, and you can see this student actually went down 1 point. So the projected score was 242 from a 241. They projected that the student would grow 1 point. They actually grew minus 1 point, and the standard error of measurement was 4.8. So the growth index is a -2, which is the difference between these two numbers. The student did not meet his or her growth, and you can see this indicator here. It looks like a double plus sign. What that indicates is that the observed growth standard error of measurement could change whether or not the student, it's bigger than this number, basically. So if they scored 4.8 points higher or 4.8 points lower, that would change the growth in their potential according to this data. So anytime you see this, that puts the data in question. So, and another time they took the test, they could have surpassed it given that standard error of measurement. So you want to pay attention to that, especially for your students who are already close and just haven't quite reached their goal yet, especially students who have a 1 or 2 point projected growth. Okay, and then finally, if you scroll down to the very bottom of that report, we get some class data that's kind of useful. So this is the percentage of students who met or exceeded their projected RIT score. So in this particular class, it's about 33% of students have already exceeded their growth, met or exceeded their growth. Total percentage of projected growth met for the whole class was 18.6. The number of students that involves is 21 students. The number of students who met or exceeded their growth is 7. And then this median conditional growth percentile is interesting. So that means if we went back up here to our list and we started looking at this number, this growth percentile, we could see that the middle students, so if you lined them up from highest to lowest, this is their conditional growth percentile. This number is used to compare students to other students with similar starting points and similar growth projections. So if you want to compare students, don't use this number. Instead, use this one, which is what is nationally normed. So use this number.